Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Secret Policeman's Other Ball.
Ladies and gentlemen, before we start the show this evening, we do just want to take this opportunity of expressing on behalf of Amnesty our sincerest thanks to you for being with us tonight. And I'm sure that you'll be thrilled to know that tonight's house has raised the truly magnificent sum of £17,560. Thank you. We really do want to thank each and every one of you, even those of you right up at the top there, who only paid the minimum of £6. Thank you.
£3.50.
What?
It's not £6, it's £3.50. That's right. It's only £3.50.
You bastards. I mean, people being tortured to death all over the world, and you're prepared to cough up the price of a prawn cocktail. Aren't you ashamed of yourself? Gate crashing. Yes, you're right. Never mind. We won't spoil the atmosphere. Ladies and gentlemen, I did want to thank all of you. Well, most of you anyway. Now, on with the show. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Rowan Atkinson. Sorry, what?
Don't forget that the people up there are the casualties of our society. Students, people gassed in the war, hospital porters,
dwarves.
So, I mean, although they have only paid £3.50, I mean, let's face it, they've been saving up for this all year. This is their big splash. And they have at least paid for it out of their own pockets. Whereas these people down here are, let's face it, writing this off against tax. Yes. I mean, how many of the people down here have, in fact, paid for their own seats? See, nobody. There we are. They are.
It's about 7. It's incredible, isn't it? Never mind. On with the show, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Rowan Atkinson.
Actually, the people who really get at my nose are those people who buy the second cheapest seat. And the lot on the second layer down who'd like to be down here with the rich and influential, but are too flabby to pay top whack. It's you lot there, the flabby, gutless, indecisive, sitting on every fence.
They're the fucking Social Democrats.
Good evening. Tonight, we're taking a look at beekeeping. And here to tell us all about it, we have in the studio a man who's been keeping bees for over 40 years, Mr. Reginald Prawnbaum. Good evening, Mr. Prawnbaum.
Good evening.
Tell me, what first interested you in the bee world, Mr. Prawnbaum?
Well, even as a child, I used to... I'm sorry, shouldn't I have said that?
No, of course you should. Pay no attention, please. When I say shh, it's just a nervous mannerism I picked up. If I want you to keep quiet, I will say shush. You were saying?
Well, even as a child, I used to wander around. Oh, I'm sorry. In the fields near my home, watching the bees flying from flower to flower, and taking note of the flowers that they visited.
Shush.
Was that wrong?
I'm so sorry. Did I say shush? I meant shh. Do go on. It's most interesting.
And so I have grown to love the little creatures. I mean, nature really has produced a little masterpiece in the life... Quack!
I'm so sorry. I'm afraid that's a reflex action, too. I squawk whenever someone mentions the word life. Quack! You see, even when I mention it myself. I should have told you. Please go on.
Oh, very well. Well, the bees, as you know, are divided into different categories. Shh. The queen bee and the worker bee, whose lifespan, whose living expectancy is only 1 year. The worker bees, on the other hand, have a much longer...
Shh.
Do you want me to stop?
Yes, you were just about to say life. Quack!
I wasn't.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Please, continue.
Well, as I was saying, the worker bees do have a much longer life. I'm sorry. It's just, you got me rather rattled now. Well, this is how the bee community works. The queen bee stays in the hive. Is that because I said hive?
Pardon? Shh.
Did you make that noise because I said the word hive?
Oh, no.
Why did you make it then?
Well, I was just practicing.
Practicing?
Practicing for a word you're bound to say very soon. Do go on.
While the worker bees fly from flower to flower, collecting the pollen. I see. Pollen. Pollen. I mean, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life. Whack! I mean, every time I say pollen or hive or life. Whack! I mean, how did you ever get the job of being an interviewer? What's going on now? Is this because I said interviewer? Interviewer.
Wow.
Do please go on, I'm so sorry.
All right, good evening. And my name's Lexi Sale. I'm actually a journalist. I'm a gossip columnist on What's On in Stoke Newington. Yeah, you might have seen it. It's a big piece of paper with fuck all written on it, you know. The lifestyle in Stoke Newington is terribly alternative, you know. It really is. I mean, everybody's growing their own denim, you know. And I actually knit my own yogurts. It's really tastic, you know. And I've been on my holidays this year, went to a Greek island, Domestos, you know. It's, the scene is terribly alternative, but there's one thing about the scene I can't get behind, and that is all the people taking drugs and not giving me any, the bastards. I think if you want to get out your head, what's wrong with going out and having 93 pints of real ale, you know, Scrottock's Old Dirigible, With the twigs and the bits of beak still in it. And the chunky jumper and the suit with a tailored pocket for the calculator. All telling racy stories about commodity investment. Not called wine bars because of what they drinks, because what they fucking do. Wine all the time. Ever had a multiple orgasm? Awful, isn't it? Seen the latest Woody Allen? Yes, awful, isn't it? Oh, the quiche looks rather nice. I'm going to sing a folk song for you now. It's about whale smuggling in the 19th century. And it was written by a civil servant 3 weeks ago. Here we go now. Ring-a-tee-too, ring-a-tee-too, ring-a-tee-toodle, toodle, too. Like, imagine the folk songs they're going to be singing in 100 years' time. You know, like, oh, I am a computer programmer from Jolly Milton Keynes. On weekdays, I wear a suit, and at the weekend, Ferrucci jeans. 'Tis my delight on a Friday night to cook some haricot beans. In me tracksuit with roller skates on and one of them stupid fucking Sony headphone units. You do all that, right? And then you round off the evening with a tortoise vindaloo. It's nice, you know what I mean? Hey, good evening, sir, and what would you like to throw up tonight? Well, fuck it, well, I think the chicken biryani with the pilau fried rice. Make a nice kind of pointillistic pattern on the floor, don't you think? I'll tell you, if you go round New Delhi at closing time, the streets are full of millions of pissed Indians throwing up steak and kidney pies.
Just a castaway, and I am lost at sea. It was a lonely day, with no one here but me. Oh, more loneliness than any man could bear. Rescue me before I fall into despair. Oh, I'll send an SOS. I'll send an SOS to the world. I hope that someone gets my. I hope that someone gets my. I hope that someone gets my message in a bottle. Ooh, message in a bottle. Message in a bottle. Message in a bottle. A year has passed since I wrote my note. I should have known this right from the start. Only hope can keep me together. Love can mend your life, but love can break your heart. I'll send an SOS to the world. I'll send an SOS to the world. I hope that someone gets my. I hope that someone gets my. I hope that someone gets my message in a bottle. Oh, message in a bottle. Ooh, message in a bottle. Message in a bottle. Walked out this morning, I don't believe what I saw. 100 billion bottles washed up on the shore. Seems I'm not alone in being alone. 100 billion cast away, looking for a home. I'll send an SOS to the world. I'll send an SOS to the world. I hope that someone gets I hope that someone gets my message in the bottle. Ooh, message in the bottle. Oh, message in the bottle. Message in the bottle. Sending out an SOS, sending out an SOS, sending out an SOS, sending out an SOS. Thank you.
Must apologize for being rather late. I've just been entertaining some frightful, grubby little left-wing frog. One of Margaret's political friends apparently over here on a dirty weekend. We live, it is true, in a very tense time. The bar, to my certain knowledge, has been shut for the last hour. And I'm probably unique among you in having had my retirement entirely buggered up by my wife becoming Prime Minister of Great Britain and parts of Northern Ireland. A recent popularity poll suggests that Margaret is marginally less popular than the Black Death. I've advised her to reshuffle the cabinet as soon as possible. My advice was Pryor to Northern Ireland and Sir Keith Joseph to Broadmoor. The real nigger in the woodpillow and the woodfile is that little fellow Howe. I don't know whether you know him, curly hair, specs, brothel creepers. He was quoted in public as saying we were coming to the end of the recession. Didn't, in fact, say any such thing. I was standing beside him at the time, a little champagne and twiglets do. He had, admittedly, had a tincture or twain. What he actually said was, we're coming to the end of the reception. Our main failure, in my view, is failing to come to grips with the unions. We come in with a rock-solid mandate, as I have frequently explained to Margaret, to club the bloody unions back into the Stone Age. And who does she wheel out the moment it comes to any kind of confrontation but Pinko Pryor, who is, in my humble opinion, about as much use as a one-legged man at an arse-kicking party. She really ought to take a leaf out of old Hopalong's book in Washington. Buy manacles and leg irons for every member of the TUC. Margaret and I saw him in Washington. There he was, standing at the top of the steps, bold as brass, 6 inches deep in makeup, holding hands with his wife. Doesn't that strike you as very rum in a man of his age? Meanwhile, we're still threatened with the spectre of unemployment. And I, myself, am absolutely in favor of it. It's an old wrinkle from army days. If the lower ranks get stroppy about doing the fatigues, march them out into the snow, leave them out there a couple of nights, only too grateful to come back and scrub out a nice warm shithouse. I mean, what has unemployment ever done to you or me? I mean, I have been unemployed to all intents and purposes for the last 58 years. I don't go around setting fire to public vehicles and lobbing Molotov cocktails at the constabulary. One critic, blamed all our present troubles on mindless hooligans bent solely on personal greed. Well, that may be true, but it's no way to talk about my wife or President Reagan. Good night to you all.
I've heard nothing but bad news, really. A friend of mine was killed earlier today, deaf and dumb accountant, actually. Bank accountant, brilliant accountant, just had this speech impediment, or rather absence. And the bank where they worked in, they had a guy who could do the hand language, so we could always get through to him if we wanted to, invite him out to lunch or ask him round to the debating society in the evenings. And what they discovered, £75,000 had gone missing, and it all traced back to this accountant. So the manager had him in his office, got the interpreter in there as well, and he said, look, you know, tell him we know he's got the money, we want it back. So the interpreter said, the manager says to you, he knows you've got the money and he wants you to give it to him back, okay? I didn't say he was a very good interpreter, all right? And the deaf and dumb accountant said, what money? I don't know about any money. So the bank manager pulled a loaded revolver out of his pocket, held this gun to the deaf and dumb accountant's temple. He said, you tell him, either he tells us where the money is, or I'm going to blow his bloody brains out. Manager says to you, either you tell him where the money is, or he is going to blow your brains out. Absolutely. Or actually more like that. And the deaf and dumb accountant said, all right, don't shoot, I'll tell you where the money is. The money's in a safe deposit box. The key's in the top left-hand drawer of my filing cabinet at home at number 23, Ravens Court Gardens. And the manager said, what did he say? What did he say? And the interpreter said, he says, go fuck yourself. So yes, isn't it awful? Isn't it awful? It is awful. And I know there will be people in the audience who will be offended by this crass, shallow, callous sort of humour. Not very many of you by the sound of it, but there will be a few in there somewhere. I'd like to say I'm on your side over this one. I don't like doing this kind of tasteless material. It's just a job, you know. In fact, as a return, I'd like to give you something of useful, practical use that you can take away. For instance, anybody speak Japanese? Would you like to learn to speak Japanese? I can teach you in 3 very simple steps. It couldn't be easier. The first step is you have to feel cold. Get the cold feeling inside your body. The vocabulary comes almost immediately. And then you add the second. I know that sounds silly now. It's only the first step. The second step, you add constipated. Cold and constipated. You put the 2 together and you get... And you add... Please, I'm only prepared to take this seriously if you are. The third step, forgetful. Cold, constipated, and forgetful. Easy to remember because it's a famous song by Cole Porter. You put those 3 together, you get the full effect, which is... I guess I don't know if you've ever tried this, but if you sniff a lot of talcum powder up your nose and then rub the insides of your nostrils with very, very, very fine sandpaper, take about 25 diet tablets, the really speedy kind, and tear up a lot of money, it's exactly like taking cocaine. Really. Amazing. In fact, they're putting acid in the birth control pills now, so you can take a trip without the kids. It's all completely out of hand. So, what we want to bring you tonight is a dazzling display of trapeze skills. Help!
I can Well, I've been waiting for this moment for all my life. Oh, Lord, I can feel it coming in the air tonight. Oh, Lord, oh, Lord. Well, if you told me you were drowning, I would not lend a hand. 'Cause I seen your face before, my friend. But I don't know if you know who I am. Well, I was there and I saw what you did. I saw it with my own two eyes. So you can wipe off that grin. I know where you've been. It's all been a pack of lies. And I can feel it coming in the air tonight. Oh, Lord. Well, I've been waiting for this moment for all my life. Oh, Lord, I can feel it in the air tonight. Oh, Lord, oh, Lord, Lord, Lord. Well, I've been waiting for this moment for all my life. All my life, all my life, oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. Well, I remember, don't worry. How could I ever forget? It's the first time and the last time that we ever met. But I know the reason why you keep your silence up. No, you don't fool me, because the hurt doesn't show and the pain still grows. It's no stranger to you and me. I can feel it coming in the air tonight. Oh, Lord, I've been waiting for this moment for all my life, oh, life, oh, life, Lord. I can feel it in the air tonight. Oh, Lord, oh, Lord, oh, Lord, oh, Lord. Well, I've been waiting for this moment all my life, all my life. Well, I can feel it in the air tonight. Oh, Lord, oh, Lord, oh, Lord. Well, I've been waiting for this moment all my life. Oh, Lord, oh, Lord.
I wasn't sure about this little Amnesty night because I generally support my own special pet little charity, which is the very, very wonderful Royal Australian Prostate Foundation. My husband, Norm, well, he hasn't been a well man. I've had his prostate hanging over my head for many, many years. And for a very long time, the poor darling, he's had a rumbling prostate, but he never let on. He kept it under his hat, particularly particularly at the pictures, but it had to leak out in the end. It did, and you know, there's a wonderful new operation which, thanks to my munificence, we've been exploring in Australia. It's a branch of psionics where they snap-freeze the prostate. In the hope that one day a doctor or a wonderful surgeon will be born who can perform a miracle operation on it. Of course, this is cold comfort to my husband in more ways than one. Old silly Billy me, I had to take it home from the Hossie in a thermos on the back seat of my car. And I can assure you I haven't had Norm's organ there for many moons. And then I got it home and I've tucked it. I've tucked it in the freezing compartment of our fridge. It's there on the left at the back. I've got all the Barbie meat on the right. My worry, of course, is that my marvellous old bridesmaid, Madge Allsop, will get a little bit peckish in the middle of the night. She could be in the mood for a scrummy old shish kebab, shouldn't she, darlings? I could come home from one of these lovely shows that I do and find my husband's organ halfway down her throat. That's a worry.
Roxanne, you don't have to put on the red light. Those days are over. You don't have to sell your body tonight. Roxanne, you don't have to wear that dress tonight. Walk the streets for money. You don't care if it's wrong or if it's right. Roxanne, you don't have to put on the red light. Roxanne, you don't have to put on the red light. I love you since I knew you. I wouldn't talk down to you. I have to tell you just how I feel. I will share you with another boy. You know my mind is made up, so put away your makeup. Told you once, I won't tell you again. It's a bad way. Roxanne, you don't have to put on the red lights. Roxanne, you don't have to put on the red light. Put on the red light. Put on the red light. I love you since I knew you. I wouldn't talk down to you. I have to tell you just how I feel. I will share you with another boy. You know my mind is made up, so put away your makeup. Told you once, I won't tell you again. It's a bad way. Roxanne, you don't have to put on the red light. Roxanne, you don't have to put on the red light. 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 You don't have to put on the red light. Roxanne, 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 Roxanne.
So, you like music, huh? Hangman, slacken your noose. Hangman, slacken your noose. Hangman, slacken your noose, 'cause I got... Some of you, I don't know, some of you may be aware of the fact that for quite a number of years now, I have been collecting motor insurance claim form statements, right? And what happens, I found some more in Australia. That's what I'm getting around to. For those of you who aren't in the know, what happens is if you have an accident, you know, on your car or bike or something, the insurance company sends you a claim form. And you have to, it's a pretty stupid claim form, lots of silly questions like what's your name, where do you live, all that. They've sent you the damn form, and things like how fast were you going at the time of the accident, and everybody writes 28 miles per hour. And on the back is a big empty space, and it says at the top, give in your own words a description of how the accident occurred. And this is, and sort of these are what people have generally written on their claim forms and sent into this insurance office in London. I'll just do a few English ones first and give you some idea how it goes. And they write things like, I ran into a stationary tree coming in the other direction. I bumped into a lamppost which was obscured by human beings. Coming home, I drove into the wrong house and collided with a tree I haven't got. The accident was caused by me waving to the man I hit last week. I knocked over a man. He admitted it was his fault, that he'd been knocked down before. So I'd been in Australia about 4 or 5 days, and I'm reading a paper in Melbourne, and I come across this article. This is a photostat of what I actually found. And much to my delight, they have exactly the same system in operation in Australia as we do. And people write more or less the same sort of things that we do, only much better. These are Australian motor insurance claim form statements. The pedestrian had no idea which direction to run, so I ran over him. I told the police I was not injured, but on removing my hat, I found I had a fractured skull. The bloke was all over the road. I had to swerve a number of times before I hit him. I had been driving for 40 years when I fell asleep at the wheel. This is my all-time favourite. I saw a slow-moving, sad-faced old gentleman as he bounced off the bonnet of my car. Thank you. Good night.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jeff Beck and Eric Clapton.
Hurt you like you hurt me. Further on the road, someone's gonna hurt you like you hurt me. Further on the road, baby, just you wait and see. You gotta reap just what you sow. That old saying is true. You gotta reap just what you sow. That old saying is true. Just like you mistreat someone, someone's gonna mistreat you. You've been laughing, pretty baby. Someday you're gonna be crying. You've been laughing, pretty baby. Someday you're gonna be crying. Further on the road, you'll find out I wasn't mine. laughing, pretty baby. Someday you're gonna be crying. You've been laughing, pretty baby. Someday you're gonna be crying. Later on that road, you'll find out I wasn't lying.
This song is indicative of my deep interest in the act of physical lovemaking. It's very short. I've had it up to here with men. Perhaps I should phrase that again. Been wearing pretty dresses, floral, taking contraceptives, oral, since I don't remember when. I've had it up to here with blokes and all their stupid, dirty jokes. It's not a lot of fun to hear the one about the nun, the marrow, the banana, and John Noakes. It's not that I expect true love or gazing at the stars above. If as a person they'd acknowledge me, not just bits of gynecology. Or if they'd just take off the rubber glove to start your evenings off in Lurex. Finish them with biscuits doesn't really turn me on. I'll stay at home in my pajamas, watch a program about llamas. I won't need any lip gloss, I won't need any Amplex, just Ovaltine and buns for one. I've had it up to here with sex, those nylon vests and hairy necks. They expect you to be flighty and they act like God Almighty, because they've got a cock and they can mend a flex. And when they proudly strip and pose, I want to say, what's one of those? They tend to feel a failure if you don't love their genitalia. Though why you should, Christ only knows. No more nights of drinking, nodding, smiling, thinking, Jesus, when can I go home? No more struggling in taxis, in Vauxhalls, Imps and Maxis, with stupid little bleeders, with all the charming manners of the average garden gnome. And when they're down to socks and grin, you know it's time to get stuck in. Full of self-congratulation, they expect a combination of Olga Korbut, Raquel Welch, and Rin Tin Tin. I've not had an encounter yet that didn't leave me cold and wet. I'd be happier, I know, if we could only go from the foreplay straight to the cigarette. I'll finish and just say again, I've definitely had it. Well, very nearly had it nearly up to here with men. Good night, thank you.
Evening, hello. Hello.
I thought you were dead.
Not yet. In the chilly hours and minutes of uncertainty, I wanna be in the warm hold of your loving mind, to your hand along the sand. Ah, but I may as well try and catch the wind. When sundown hails the sky, I wanna hide a while behind your smile. And everywhere I'd look, your eyes I'd find. For me to love you now would be the sweetest thing. 'Twould make me sing. Ah, but I may as well try and catch the wind. When rain has hung the leaves with tears, I want you near, for to kill my fears, to help me to leave all my blues behind. For standing in your heart is where I wanna be, and I long to be. Ah, but I may as well try and catch. I may as well try and catch. I may as well try and catch the wind. Thank you, thank you.
Good evening and welcome to another edition of Top of the Form. And this week we're at the semi-final stage, and tonight's contest is between the boys of King Arthur's Grammar School, Podbury, and the girls of the St Maria Kangaroo Boot II County High School and a half. And so, without further ado, let's go straight on with round two. Brian, what is the name we give to the meat we get from pigs?
Pork.
Good. That's 2 marks to you. Tracy, what is the name of the metal alloy we get from zinc and copper?
Brass.
No, no, I'm afraid not. The answer's pork. Kevin, what is the capital of Australia?
Sydney.
No, the capital of Australia is pork. Arthura, who wrote The Tale of Two Cities?
Book.
Good, that's 2 marks to you. And so on to Stig's question. Stig, what was the date of Captain Cook's discovery of Australia?
Book.
Good, 2 marks to you. And the last question of this round is to you, Cynthia. Can you recite the first 2 lines of Thomas Gray's elegy written in a country? Good, that's 2 marks to you. And the end of round 1, the score is 4 points each. And straight on with round 2. Brian, what is the name we give to the meat we get from pigs?
Pork.
What?
Pork?
No, you're guessing, aren't you? The meat we get from pigs is called Baghdad. Tracy, your question. Your question, Tracy. What is the capital of Iraq?
Baghdad.
No, nearly. The capital of Iraq is Rome. Kevin, what is the capital of Italy?
Paris.
No, the capital of Italy is Tokyo. Arthura, what is the capital of Japan? Washington! Good. 2 marks to you. Stig, what is the capital of the United States of America?
Sydney!
Well...
Canberra!
Good, 2 marks to you. And finally, Cynthia, what's the capital of Australia? Well done. Well done indeed. And at the end of round 2, the score is... And straight on with round 3. Brian, what's the difference between a mongoose and a monsoon?
A mongoose is a long white plastic pole that you hang out of your window to frighten the birds away. And a monsoon is a medieval Hungarian stomach pump.
Now, I can only give you a half for that.
Brussels! Brussels!
No. A monsoon is a wind, and a mongoose isn't. Well, that's enough of that round, and the score is... And on to round 4, which is all about butterflies. Tracy, here's your question, and they're all about butterflies, okay? Your question on butterflies. Who wrote Jane Eyre? No, you're on the wrong track here. No, the answer is the Taj Mahal. No, I'm sorry, I got a bit muddled there. The answer is Brussels. But I can give you one for cabbage white. Well, that makes the scores even, and there's only time for one more question, so whichever school gets this will go through to the final next week.
Rangoon!
No, wait for the question. Here it is, and it's quite a hard one. Can you tell me who shuffled my question cards just before transmission?
My Republican producers told me, Ronnie, you are going to be a model president. I said, does that mean I have some kind of big key in my back? We wound up by a bunch of rich hooligans. They said no. If we needed that, we'd have got the old Abraham Lincoln dummy out of Disneyland. Why? He talks just like you do. He has a considerably wider range of facial expression. No, we need a live actor. And failing that, Ronnie Reagan. That does not mean I intend to be written out of my big scene. I'm not talking about some localized nuclear conflict between two crazed tin pot demagogues like Haig and Weinberger. But if it comes to real gunplay, I intend to demonstrate as a mature statesman that I have a bigger one than any crazed commie in Pakistan or wherever it is they come from. So we burn up a couple of billion. That's show business. Finally, as a conservative, and I do not give a shit about conservation, I intend to conserve, to cleanse, tone, and moisturize that face of America that will, under God, strike terror into friend and foe alike.
We'd like to do a song that's been very kind to us. The silicon chip inside her head gets switched to overload. And nobody's gonna go to school today. She's gonna make them stay at home. And Daddy doesn't understand it. He always said she was good as gold. And he can see no reasons, 'cause there are no reasons. What reason do you need to be shown? Whoa, 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 whoa. Tell me why I don't like Mondays. Tell me why I don't like Mondays. Why I don't like Mondays. I wanna shoot the whole day down. The telex machine is kept so clean, and it types to a waiting world. A mother feels so shocked, father's world is rocked, and their thoughts turn to their own little girl. Sweet 16 ain't that peachy keen, but it ain't so neat to admit defeat. They can see no reasons, 'cause there are no reasons. What reasons do you need? Oh, 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 tell me why I don't like Mondays. Tell me why I don't like Mondays. I don't like Mondays. I wanna shoot the whole day down, down, down. Shoot it all down. Another playing stopped in the playground now. She wants to play with her toys a while. And school's out early, and soon we'll be learning. And the lesson today is how to die. And then the bullhorn crackles, and the captain tackles with the problems in the house and wife. And he can see no reasons, 'cause there are no reasons. What reason do you need to die, die? Oh, oh, oh. And the silicon chip inside her head gets switched to overload. Oh, and nobody's gonna go to school today. She's gonna make them stay at home. And Daddy doesn't understand it. He always said she was good as gold. And he can see no reasons, 'cause there are no reasons. What reason do you need to be sure? Whoa, 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 whoa. Tell me why I don't like Mondays. 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 I wanna shoot the whole day down.
And did you have to go through that tedious charade, sexual intercourse?
Oh, yes. From A to Z.
Z? B is the furthest I've ever wanted to go.
Oh, no. A, B, C, D, the whole alphabet of love.
What form did it take?
Oh, myriad forms.
put it in and jiggle it about a bit, did you?
Well, ultimately, yes. But it was a long and winding road.
That's all it comes down to, though, in the end, isn't it? Put it in and jiggle it about a bit. I remember I said to my wife last time, I said, you know, I've lost count of the number of times I've done this. She said, well, think about somebody else for a change. Because I was doing, desperately. How old was she, your sex partner?
17.
17.
With pert young breasts that I so tenderly cupped and kissed before fondling my loving way all along the sweet highways and byways of her fresh young body.
Then you put it in and jiggled it about. How long did it take?
I did a real textbook job. Foreplay, afterplay, all the trimmings. I don't suppose we had much change left out of 3 hours.
Jesus Christ. You could have been in Leeds in that time. Did she enjoy it?
Oh, yes. She enjoyed it all right. Oh, yes, she enjoyed it.
I didn't know.
Yeah, the infallible sign. She started moaning and crying.
I take all that with a pinch of salt.
Oh, no. No, these cries were wrenched from her very being. It was as though her very soul was speaking.
I think it's all put on, you know, all that. How old did you say she was? 17. No.
I didn't think anyone was 17 any longer.
Well, I nearly scored with somebody 17 the other day.
Oh, did you?
Yes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, tell me.
Well, I was at home, you see, one evening, a beautiful, crisp, clear evening, just hint of autumn in the air, and I thought, well, it's a crime to stay indoors on a night like this.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just have a little stroll along to Ladbroke Grove Lavatory and get a breath of fresh air.
But you live in Ladbroke Grove?
I do, yes. I live in Ladbroke Grove, yes.
Was there some kind of malfunction in your own toilet?
No. Last flush, it was in tip-top condition. No. Do you know that lavatory at all? Ladbroke Grove?
Well, yes. I mean, I have had occasion to visit it. Of course. I mean, purely for functional reasons.
Because that's why most people visit it, you know, for absolutely legal, moral, and functional reasons, you know. That they use it for the purpose for which it was designed. I don't. I use it for ancillary reasons.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, well, you wouldn't know that, you see, because I haven't come out of the closet.
In Ladbroke Grove?
No, I've gone into the closet in Ladbroke Grove, metaphorically. No. Anyway, as lavatories go, it's a very reliable place. It's not 3-star, but it's quite definitely 2 cross knives and forks. Very nice clientele you get there, very good social mix. There's the usual groundswell of Spanish waiters, 1 or 2 BBC, sprinkling a Foreign Office, and, God bless Our Lady of Downing Street, many unemployed youths.
Unemployed youths?
Unemployed youths, yes.
Tragic.
It is tragic, yes. Anyway, I'm stood there, you see, there, in the lavatory, for about 20 minutes, purporting to have a Jimmy Riddle.
20 minutes? I mean, is that what you have to do?
Oh, yes, you have to do that. Yes, it's a real RSC award-winning performance. I mean, in any other context, it would get you a Tony or an Oscar. And indeed, in that context, occasionally gets you a Tony. Less often an Oscar, but anyway.
By the law,
yeah, that's right, yes. Anyway, I'm stood there, and meanwhile, various good citizens come and go, having emptied their honest bladders. But it's very quiet, nothing at all, you know, not a nibble. It's probably a Bette Davis movie on the television or something like that. Anyway, I'm stood there, and then suddenly the doorway is darkened by the massive form of Mr. Wright.
Mr. Wright?
Oh, Mr. Wright. 6'2", blonde, bronzed, crisp, hyacinthine curls, and, biggest plus of all, never says a word.
Never says a word?
Never says a word. You see, beauty of which is, allows me free play of all my fantasies.
Of course.
Oh, I mean, I thought, well, is this a Hungarian truck driver, fresh from driving his juggernaut across the motorways of Europe, and to hell with the environment? Is it a member of the SAS, his balaclava dangling nonchalantly from his pocket? Is it...
the Waynfleet Professor of Moral Philosophy in the University of Oxford?
No, it didn't occur to me that he might be him. No, I don't think it was. No. Anyway, dissolved to half an hour later.
Yes?
We're in the snug.
The rumpus room?
The rumpus room, you see. And I'm just thinking, well, it's about time I started to try and ease down his nether garments with my practiced skill, you see. And then the thought occurs, la pensée, I'm quite sure never occurred to Pascal, or if it did, he certainly didn't publish it. Namely, this bugger is a policeman.
So, what did you do?
Well, at that moment, my wife blew the whole thing by coming in and saying, would we both like a slice of quiche? It turned out he wasn't a policeman, and he wasn't even a Hungarian truck driver. He was a trainee chiropodist at the Mitcham Polytechnic. Not my cup of tea at all.
And he didn't moan?
Oh, no. Well, boys don't moan, you see.
They don't?
Well, I mean, they moan about not having anywhere to sleep or not having a job or not having enough money, you see, but they don't moan about that, no.
Well, I suppose it is all in the mind.
Oh, yes. And sometimes these days, not even there.
They are naked and they do dance.
Cha-cha-cha. Cha-cha-cha-cha-cha, 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 cha-cha-cha-cha. Cha-cha-cha. Cha-cha-cha-cha-cha, 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 cha-cha-cha-cha. Cha-cha-cha-cha-cha, 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 cha-cha-cha-cha. Cha-cha-cha. Cha-cha-cha-cha-cha, 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 cha-cha-cha-cha.
It's a lot of old toss, innit, eh, mime? Isn't it a lot of old wank mime, eh? I mean, who in their right minds, like, would pay good money to see a real man sew his fingers together, walk into a high wind, and get shut in a fucking glass box? But some French fucker called Bip or Snot or something. He pretends to sew his fingers together, walk into a high wind, and get shut in a fucking glass box. And people travel from Guildford to see him. It's a funny old world, really, isn't it, eh? Fluky, sorry, I thought it was Alan Minter there for a minute, sorry. Oh, fuck it, right, okay, I went round to some friend's flat the other night, right? I got up to the flat, talking about drugs, I got up to the flat, right, and I noticed a sickly sweet smell. Sickly sweet bloody smell. I thought, aye, spam for tea. And then I saw them, the extra long 9-skin Galway's dick compensators they was rolling. I said, Byron, how do you manage to get the spam in there? And then I realised what was happening. I said, I'm hip to this groove, daddy-o, 23 skidoo, rock around the crocodile, man. So they all ignored me, you know. I sat down on the Habitat pine scatter cushions. And they all settled down for a good alternative night in, you know. lentil fondue bubbling away on the hot plate. Oh, yes, I got this recipe out of a book called 1001 Things to Do with Cling Peaches. Or 1002 if you eat the fuckers. And he put the child into its Victorian night smock. Made it look like an extra from Tess of the D'Urbervilles. And they're all sitting there, right, with tea cozies on their heads, telephone core wire coming out of them. They're all weekend white Rastafarians. They all live on the front line in Hemel Hempstead. And he lit up the joints, right? Lit up the joints. Oh, fucking hell, yeah. Oh, wow, yeah, did you strip those floorboards yourself? Oh, it's like fucking Norway in here, man. And this one guy says, oh, this is really amazing dope, you know. I mean, it's really incredible, you know. I mean, it's really amazing. He said, but let me tell you about some dope I had the other week. It was really good stuff. It was Swedish lead, you know. And so I had one toke of this dope, right? Just one toke. I was paralysed from the waist down. I lost the use of my fingers. And I developed every single symptom of typhoid. It was fucking amazing. And they're all going, ooh, fucking amazing. Ooh, fucking fantastic. Ooh, save the shrimp, man, yeah. So this second guy, right, another civil servant. It says, well, actually, I've been taking coke, you know, cocaine. And it's really good stuff. It's only about 9/5 Harpic. They said, like, it's TFM, you know, it's too fucking much. So they had one snort of this coke, right, just one snort, and I went blind for a fortnight. It was fucking amazing. And they're all going, ooh, fucking amazing, ooh, fucking fantastic. Ooh, save the Morris Minor, man, yeah. Morris Minor's like being inside a 50s radio, isn't it? See them all peddling away, you know, and look, it's Notty the social worker. So this first guy's a bit pissed off. He says, OK, stakes are raised. Well, I've been taking napalm. I've been roasting the phone in the oven and then taking it through my kneecaps. So now he said, I've been taking acid, you know. So I dropped a couple of tabs on a Kenny and Dave's, you know, round the squat, you know. And no, it's really nice they're making an effort. They're using a pig on a string as an air freshener. And it was really amazing acid, this, you know. I mean, it was much better than Sainsbury's tin cream magic mushrooms. He said, like, we dropped these two tabs, you know, and our brains started to throb, and I didn't think Kenny and Dave had any brains left after Nebworth. Well, who fucking would have? 9 hours of Santana. 18 quid for a fucking lentil burger, God. It was like the First World War. Of course, they had heavy metal then, but it was called shrapnel in those days. Oh, actually, it was wonderful, though, wasn't it, Nebworth? I don't know if you remember that wonderful climactic moment, you know, when we all struck a match and held it aloft, you know. And, yeah. Suddenly there was 50,000 people going, oh, fucking... Thank you, good night.
See, everything can be replaced, and every distance is not near. So I remember every face of every man who put me here. Oh, I see my light come shining from the west to the east. reflection. They say every man must follow. I can swear I can see my reflection. Someplace so high above this world. I see my light come shining from the west to the east. Any day now, anyway now, earth shall be released. I shall be released. Standing next to me in this lonely crowd is a man, he swears he's not to blame. All day long I hear him screaming out so loud. He's sounding out that he was framed. I see my light come shining from the west down to the east. Any day now, anyway now, earth shall be released. I shall be. I see my light come shining from the west down to the east. Any day now, anyway now, I shall be released. I shall be released. I shall be. Oh, I shall be released. 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 I shall be released.
Credits. What are you doing? Stop them, come on. Hey, you lot sloping off to the exits before we finish. Come back, come on, back. I know you've got to catch the last bus. We haven't finished with you yet, you know. Come on, sit down. I shall be released. What I want to know is when I shall be released. They told me 12:15, it's 2:35 already. Well, it's all right for Bob Dylan. He doesn't have to muck out the gerbils at 7:15 in the morning. Now, a lot of people, me included, thought we'd seen the end of this show at the Theatre Royal Drury Lane, but oh no, they decided to make a film of it, God help them. And also, for those of you who want to see the entire shambles run through in your very own living room, they put it on a beautiful video cassette. I've got one here. Now, which bin is it in? Here we are. There we are, look at that. The secret policeman's at the ball. All on video. Magic moments preserved. Now, I heard people here tonight, perfectly normal, reasonable, sane human beings by every other standard, who thought this was one of the funniest shows I'd ever seen. Well, now they'll be able to put their money where their mouth is. Instead of clogging up the theatre bars with their noisy opinions, they'll be able to listen to it all on this lovely record. There we are, the secret policeman's at the ball, all the comedy bits on the record. And if you hate comedy, and God knows I do, there's music for you. Lovers of classy music. Jeff Beck, string, Eric Clapton, all here preserved on beautiful vinyl. And for those of you who want to use your other organs, don't leave them dangling by your sides, use them to pick up this, the Secret Policeman's Other Ball book. For all the lovely photos, all taken in a snowstorm. Intimate details of the backstage life of the stars. Who did share a dressing room with Pamela Stevenson? Does John Cleese really shave his legs? And if all this gets you excited, they've got a secret policeman's sweatshirt to mop it all up with. Now, all this may sound like a rip-off to you, but every bit of profit from this lot, don't get up, every bit of profit from this lot goes to help people who are in prison for no other reason than they told someone else to go and stuff it. Not then, that's a very good cause. If you're interested in good causes, by the way, I can give you a few handy lines and other goods. Secret policeman baked beans. Secret policeman tennis rackets, be the wonder of the centre court. Secret policeman John McEnroe inflatable rubber cake stands. Secret policeman doggy scoops for those intimate moments on a pavement. And, hey, before you go, a real bargain for lovers of peace and quiet. A secret policeman cruise missile of your very own. 90% cheaper than the USAF sent to our lot. Hang on, I'll go and get one round the back. Run the rest of the credits and I'll be back, all right? Secret policeman cruise missile. Secret policeman MX2. Secret policeman intercontinental ballistic custom part.